Okay, stream 1 is up. Stream 3 is up. Stand by. Chris, let me know once you confirm it on YouTube as well, if you could, please. All right. Stand by. Coming directly to you first, Andrew. Then you introduce the guys, and I will bring them in on your call.
Hockey is returning, and that means Puck Time is returning as well. Welcome in, guys. Welcome back to the WagerTalk TV YouTube channel. My name is Andrew McInnis, joined by Carmine, Bianco, and Buster Sports. I'll start with you, Carmine, my co-host for the season. NHL is back. We're very excited, but also very excited to make some money betting on the season. How you feeling, man? Hockey's back.
I'm excited. We've watched and we've waited. Obviously, usually it's October. The season kicks off. It's a different format this year, and we're kicking off in January tomorrow. And I'm excited about it, Andrew. And I'm looking forward to doing this show with you. We think alike in a lot of these things, and I look forward to your prop bets each and every night. So I'm looking forward to this show and the guys who will be on it.
It's the three-man Canadian lineup today, but one of us is actually not currently in Canada. We got Buster Sports from Sports Memo in Mexico right now. Buster, I know you're in Mexico, but you still watch a hell of a lot of hockey. How you feeling, man?
Oh yeah, I'll be watching lots and lots of hockey, especially this year when we have 56 games and every point's going to be very important. Doing great. Had a nice win last night in the big championship game. So yeah, everything's good. Really looking forward to getting going here in hockey, and this season is going to be like no other. That's for sure. Especially with the scheduling. I really believe goaltending and coaching is going to be key. So looking forward to it, and glad to see you running the show, Andrew. Good for you. All props.
I appreciate it, Buster, and I can't wait as well. We've got, like you said, new divisions, 56 games, shortened season, and Puck Time is back. So without further ado, before we do get into things, we're going to be talking division props, future props. So I do want to get one coupon code out of the way. It's already a $7.99 for the full NHL season. Then it got down to $4.99 with the early bird special. Now with the coupon code NHL99 for any NHL handicapper, you can get the entire season for $399 plus the playoffs. That is a steal for anyone looking to bet on some NHL hockey. And we appreciate all of you guys that are in the chat box right now tuning in. Just want to give you guys a mention. We always appreciate the interaction from you guys. So, Buster, I'm going to start with you. Before we get into the divisions and the futures, I want to read off a few pickups in the offseason, and then we can get your reactions from this. So we've got Alex Pietrangelo. Longtime St. Louis Blues player. He leaves. He goes to the Golden Knights. We got Taylor Hall signing with the Buffalo Sabres. Big move for him after winning the MVP. He's kind of had some down seasons. Markstrom goes to Calgary. Krug goes to the Blues. We've got Toffoli on the Habs, your favorite team. Braden Holtby on the Canucks. We've got Nate Schmidt on the Canucks. Obviously, Josh Anderson, that trade. What would you say is the most impactful move this offseason?
Out of all those moves, it's hard to pick one. I will take two, though. Pietrangelo going to Vegas. That Vegas club, it just makes them – they're almost there already. That division is going to be great between Colorado, Vegas, and St. Louis. I mean, that's going to be a great division. That one, but I think the real big one could be Markstrom to Calgary. That, to me, if he plays the way he played in Vancouver – and now with Calgary's, how they can play defense, if he can get some guys to score some goals like Goudreau, if he can put some pucks in the net to Chuck, I really like Calgary to do something in that division, even though it's going against my Canadians and, of course, the Prez's Leafs and that. But, I mean, I think those are the two huge moves this year in the free agency. But, I mean, like Krug to St. Louis, like all of them are really big, though.
What do you think, Carmine? I mean, I know it's been a crazy offseason. We were hoping to get the season. That was the main goal, but there definitely were some changes here for certain rosters. What to you was the biggest move this offseason?
Mine comes back to the exact same one you guys are talking about, the Pietrangelo one. I look at it a couple ways. Number one, yeah, it's great, great move for him, and we get to see obviously the Golden Knights and the Blues play. I think 8 times this season in that division. So it's great to see that the Blues will get to see their old buddy 8 times throughout the season. The other thing I like about it is, and this is from a complete odds perspective, is in that division without some of the moves that we saw. I think Colorado would be priced a little bit more as a favorite. They're like 160, I think, at Will Hill right now to win that division. They'd probably be a little bit lower. That move with Pietrangelo there makes Vegas almost a co-favorite to win this division, but you're getting now a better price on Colorado, and I do like them to win that division. So I'm happy about that move because it prices the Avalanche just a tick higher and making it a value play for me.
For myself, before we get into the divisions, I'll just have to touch on what Buster said about Markstrom going to the Calgary Flames in that Western Canadian division. This Calgary Flames team has struggled from the goaltending standpoint for years now, it seems. They've had so much talent up front. A lot of great offensive players, but their goaltending hasn't been good. And Vancouver just did not have the cap space, so they had to get rid of some of their players like Tyler Toffoli and Markstrom. And I think that really works out for the Calgary Flames. So interesting to see. But speaking of which, let's get into those divisions, guys. Let's look at the odds here, look at some of these division props, and then we'll get into some Cup future props as well. We're going to start with the Western Division. Carmine, you were talking about the aforementioned Colorado Avalanche. They are the Cup favorites. They are listed at plus 160 to come out of this division. Right below them is the Golden Knights, and then it's the St. Louis Blues. And then to me, it's quite a bit of a drop-off after that. I'd say that those three teams are, pretty much eschewing to make the playoffs. Then below that, you got the Wild, Coyotes, and the Sharks. For myself, I'm looking at the Coyotes to have a pretty good year this year. They might be that fringe playoff team. They're a young team. They've got speed, and they've got two really, really solid goaltenders. What about yourself, Carm? Obviously, it's a very top-heavy division. It should be a very competitive one from the top standpoint.
Yeah, I think you hit it bang on as far as talking about these teams. That when we look at some of the other divisions later on in this show, we're going to see 4 to 6 teams that have a shot at winning or making the playoffs and winning the division. Here, it's extremely top heavy. I just can't see anyone other than the Avalanche, the Knights, and the Blues playing in that division final for a spot in the semis. So it's top heavy. I just don't see the Wild, the Coyotes, or the Sharks doing much damage. Shortened season, 56 games. It also favors teams like the Avalanche, the Golden Knights, the Blues, just because of you look at their number one goalies. Goalies that would normally play like 60 games and then you get a backup for 20. These guys will, you'll see the starters in back-to-backs. You'll see the starters in back-to-backs. And if they're playing 3 games in 4 nights, maybe that 4th game is where you see the backup goalie play. But you're going to see the starters getting, the starters for all 3 of those teams getting a majority of the minutes and the games, and it favors those teams. So for me, it's the Avalanche to win in that one. I think that this team is stacked. They're healthy. They went through injury problems last season. Everyone's healthy, and they're looking for a good run this year.
Excellent stuff there from Carmine Bianco. Find him on WagerTalk.com. Well, this St. Louis Blues team, we touch on them from a goaltending standpoint. Of course, they have Jordan Binnington. He's outstanding. He won a Stanley Cup with them at such a young age. We all know how great they are from a defending standpoint. They lost Pietrangelo, but they pick up Torrey Krug, Buster. So I think that really does help. He's obviously a smaller player, but he's probably more speedy, jumps into the rush. He's a very fast-moving defenseman. So I look at that team, and I look at them picking up Mike Hoffman as well. They've got some great offense. They're great overall talent. They are plus 450 to win this division. Buster, from a value standpoint, how do you feel about this Blues team this year?
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Hoffman. I know he was playing all along, but they just signed him, I believe, yesterday even. I've said right off the bat there that this division is going to be the best one to go to. And here's the thing with those 3 teams, with Colorado, Vegas, St. Louis. Now, whoever gets in the 4th team, whether it's going to be Arizona or Minnesota or maybe even Anaheim, the problem is for those 3 teams, they're going to be playing almost like playoff hockey this year, even though all the teams will be because of 56 games. But Colorado, Vegas, St. Louis, they're going to really want that number one spot, more so probably than any other division, because really it's just you get into the playoffs, you got your spot, then you go from there. But because of because of this division, when you have Colorado, the team that comes first, they don't have to play those other teams in the playoffs, and that's going to be huge. And I'm just going to touch on what Carmine talked about the goaltending. Bednar already has said he's going to play Grubauer 60% of the time and Francoeur 40% of the time. To me, and I'm no coach, obviously, but I've watched a game for a lot of years. Even 60-40 to me, that's too much, because the backup goalie is still getting 22, 23 games. I'm going to like to see teams that maybe like a Calgary that we spoke about, play their goalie 45-11. That's what I'm looking for, and I think that's what has to happen. And as the games go on, I believe you'll see that happen. You'll see teams play their number one guy way more, because as Carmine said, on those back-to-backs, they'll play every point. It's going to be crazy the last 2 weeks this year, because every point fighting for those 4 playoff spots. I tell you, we're really looking forward to all this. And as far as the division, I don't know who's going to win Colorado between Colorado, Vegas, or St. Louis. I mean, it's going to be something else. Really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to how Pietrangelo plays with Vegas this year as well.
He's Buster Sports. You can find him over at sportsmemo.com. We got to keep this train rolling, keep things moving here. We're going to head into the Central Division. How weird is it, guys, that 2 teams that just this past season were in the Stanley Cup final are now playing against each other? I'm talking about the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Dallas Stars. We have Tampa Bay listed at plus 135 to win that Central Division. The Hurricanes at plus 375 directly behind them. We have Kucherov out for the majority of the season, Carmine, but I still think this is such a talented team, and they proved that when they were on their Stanley Cup run. How do you feel that they're going to fare again this season? Can they repeat or at least win their division?
Yeah, the one thing when I look at this division, and I think we talked about this yesterday, is you always wonder how a Stanley Cup winning team performs early on in the season, the following season. Do they have that cup hangover? They've been off quite obviously a lot longer than they normally would, with the season starting three months late. So how does Tampa play out of the gate? I'm not entirely sure they pick up right where they left off. They had a slow start to last season. We saw it, and that came on the heels of getting eliminated by Columbus in 4 in the first round in a season where they just lit up every single team in winning the President's Cup, the President's Trophy. I'm taking a bit of a shot here with, I kind of like, if someone's going to knock them off, I'm looking at Carolina here. You know what I mean? Was it Cherry that said, he called them a bunch of idiots? These guys, they're out there.
Bunch of jerks.
Bunch of jerks. They play as a team that they love playing as a team. They're a fun team to watch. And in a shortened season of 56 games, they could do some damage. You look at some of the talent on the team, from Dougie Hamilton to I can never pronounce his name, Shezhnikov and Sebastian O. And Mrazek played very well in goal last season. So who knows? In that sense, is they could go far. This team. I think when push comes to shove, and we're looking at the playoffs and 2 teams meeting in that Central Final, it could very well be Carolina and Tampa fighting for a spot in the Stanley Cup semifinals.
He is Carmine Bianco from WagerTalk.com. Don't forget to check out Carmine's soccer show, Stoppage Time. It actually aired directly before Puck Time. It's a great show, very informative for all of you out there looking to get some soccer betting information. They've certainly helped me out as well. Yeah, it's interesting looking at this division, guys. When you break things down, the Lightning, they're plus 160. The value to me isn't really there to take a future on them, but they're still so talented even without Kucherov. I'm with Carmine, plus 300 on the Hurricanes. The speed that they have, the great goaltending, the coaching style they have with Brenmore, I think it's just really rock solid. The Stars, they're not getting any younger. They've got a decent secondary, but I'm still a little bit worried about them. The Blue Jackets, I think they have issues. They have a lot of problems inside their locker room. Pierre-Luc Dubois, he said he wanted a trade, then he signed with them. There's a little bit of coaching issues with the players. I'm kind of worried about that. But again, this is another division that I think is pretty top heavy. You get the Lightning, the Hurricanes, and the Stars, and then it's a battle for that 4th playoff spot. Only 4 teams make the playoffs from each division, then they'll battle it out. Buster, your quick thoughts here on this division.
Yeah, I'm with you guys as well. Tampa does start slow all the time. Although, again, what I think is going to be really key all year is coaching and goaltending, and they have 2 of the best in Tampa. So as far as any value to bet them to win the division, there's none there. Carmine made some great points about Carolina, and it's funny. Carolina, there's 2 teams in this division that are kind of been my nemesis, Carolina and Nashville. I've bet them the last 2 years on a future to win the Cup. I'm a big fan of Carolina. I believe they're about plus 1,700, 1,800, right? 18 to 1 or 17 to 1 right now. I thought I saw. They might be a team again, but I mean, they've just, what's the old story? Once bitten, twice shy kind of a deal. But there's no doubt those 2 teams are, I believe, head over heels. I think Dallas, you see that Stanley Cup hangover this year. Columbus, again, I'm not too sure if they can pull off what they've been pulling off the last couple of years. And, well, I'm afraid to even say, because normally I'd be playing them again because I think they have all the talent. I think Soros couldn't win the Vezina this year. This kid's fantastic. But again, I've had trouble with those 2 teams. I think you guys are right. Tampa and Carolina are definitely going to be the cream of this crop. And I think you'll see Nashville and maybe somehow Dallas falls out. I don't know. We'll see what happens with Columbus, but I think Nashville is going to be right in there. And when the playoffs start, you guys all know anything can happen.
Guys, just a reminder, every single day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, you can find us right here on the WagerTalk TV YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell, and let your boss, let your girlfriend, let your wife, let your buddies know that you have a time slot booked every single day, and you're watching Puck Time right here on WagerTalk. We are now going to get into the most competitive division in the NHL. I think this division is going to be insane. I've talked about a few divisions so far being top-heavy. Well, guys, this Eastern division is not top-heavy whatsoever. This Eastern division contains the Boston Bruins, the Philadelphia Flyers, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Washington Capitals, and, of course, the 2 New York teams, the Islanders and the Rangers. When you look at this, and, of course, I can't forget Carmine's Sabres and Devils, but I don't think those 2 teams stand a chance. But when you look at this division, you can really see the competitiveness of it. And it's not really too clear-cut who's going to come out on top. And when we look at things from a future standpoint, that's kind of what you want to do is look for value. You want to pick a winner, but you want to pick some value here. So this time I'll start with you, Buster. We've got 2 teams in the Penguins and Capitals. We've got Ovechkin and Crosby. They're getting up there in age. They're still so talented. They're getting up there. Their teams, they have a little bit of youth, but I think they're on a downward trajectory. Then you got teams like the Islanders and Rangers and Sabres that could be those sleepers to kind of move up and take those spots.
Yeah, I agree with you. I know for me, of course, Boston is the top team there, but I mean, I'm not sure how you let Chara go. I know he's getting older, but where's the loyalty? I'm an old school guy. Where's loyalty? You ask that Chara, what do you want? You give it to him. Whether you don't give him the minutes during the year, Cassidy can work that stuff out. But you can't let that guy go. That's gotta hurt the locker room. Also, now you lose Krug as well, that happens. They have a great club. They have, with Halak and Raskin net. They're really good that way. But at plus 250, as you said, there's other teams that I'm going to be betting for this division. I like Pittsburgh. I think, again, coming down, I think that Tristan Jarry's going to have a great year. Love Sullivan as a coach. Maybe one last kick of the cap for Malkin and Crosby. I actually think Washington regresses this year. That's just my opinion. I also believe maybe the Islanders, they play such a team game, though, so that could be key in a 56-game schedule. But don't sleep on Carmine Sabres. They're looking good. I'm telling you, I am so looking forward to watch Hull and Eichel play together? And also, how about that power play that they'll have this year with Hull, Eichel, and Reinhart? That's going to be something to watch. Rangers, what can you say with Panarin and Zibanejad? They're going to be good. They got some nice goaltending too. So yeah, this division is deep. There's no way I'm laying 250 with Boston, especially when with those guys missing, and then Pasternak, he's not going to be ready for the beginning of the year. So they're talking about slow starts we talked about with Tampa. I think Boston will have a slow start as well. And in 56 games, all of a sudden you get behind. They're going to make the playoffs, but I don't think they're number one. And you're looking for value for number one in here. I like Pitt for a little bit of value. And of course, Philadelphia looks really good. But again, my team here, I think Pittsburgh wins this division.
Carmine, we'll keep things rolling. We'll head it right back to you. But your Sabres, second last in the rankings here, plus 2,200 to win the division. They picked up Taylor Hall. They have some talent. I agree with Buster. I think the Capitals are that team that fall off a little bit. I think the Flyers are the team that have an outstanding season. And the Bruins, they're without David Pasternak for a little bit of time, up until, I think, 2 months he's out for. So that definitely does mean something for a shortened season, Carm. What are you thinking here for this very competitive division?
Yeah, in talking about my team, first and foremost, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. Obviously, some signees, and they're going to give some teams some problems. And the Sabres, the last couple of years, have been notoriously had really good starts to the season, and then have tailed off after 40 or 50 games and completely tanked the second half of the season. So in a 56-game season, maybe you could argue, hey, the same start, and they may make the playoffs. I don't think they do. What I do normally is I watch a team the year before where the roster more or less remains the same, and if they give us some indication they're going to have a good season, and I really think the Flyers are going to have a very good season here, and I think they're going to win this division, and you can get them at plus 350 right now to win this division. I think they're number 6 as far as being a youthful squad. I think their average age of this team across the board is 28.4 years. I think that was the last update I got on this team. It's what you want is a team that performed with a lineup like that the previous year and head into a new season. There's a lot to like about this, starting from their goaltender out. So for me in this division, I think the Bruins, I hate to say it, they had a great start to last season before Tampa finally got to them. I just think that this season playing each other 8 times, this is one of those ones where I think the Flyers take this division. So mid-major Matt's going to love me for saying that. So Flyers to win. And hey, when we come to Stanley Cup predictions, the last 2 years, I did give out the Blues and Tampa Bay last year. So maybe we'll get to seeing whether I can make it 3 in a row after this.
I'm looking forward to hearing those futures, Carmine. And before we do switch over to our last division we'll discuss, I did forget one guy when I was talking about our additions to a team, and somebody in the chat room here live on the YouTube page did mention it. Alexis Lafreniere, number 1 overall pick. He joins the New York Rangers. The team is going to be a very, very, very talented team. They've got Shesterkin, one of the favorites to win the Calder Trophy, the Rookie of the Year, from the goaltending position. So, again, very competitive division. I would say, first of all, I think you look at the Sabres and the Rangers from a betting standpoint, look to bet overs on them. I think the Islanders at plus 550, they're still a rock-solid team defensively, and I would actually take a shot at them to win this division. But I agree with Carmine on the Flyers. We'll keep things going here, guys. Our last division, certainly not the least. Some call it the North Division. We're going to call it the Canadian Division, and we're going to go through these odds here. And because, Carm, you don't have a team in the fight here in this one, technically you are a Buffalo fan. So I'll start with you with your thoughts. But North Maple Leafs plus 120, Oilers plus 450 directly after that. Then the Habs 5-1, Flames 7-1, Jets 7-1. You're picking up what I'm putting down here for you. What are your thoughts here for futures on this Canadian division?
Yeah, this is going to be a fun division, and this is the this is the first and only time I think you can say that a Canadian team is guaranteed to make it to the Stanley Cup semifinals the way this is set up. Everyone's everyone who's where I am, which is north of the border in Toronto, I'm north of Toronto, everyone here thinks it's a slam dunk. Leafs are winning this division. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, the team has a wealth of talent on this team, and I'm not using my anti-Leaf bias here, but the Flames have improved. The Oilers, Oilers at plus 350 are a very good price with the talent that they have. Obviously, the one caveat to all of that with the Oilers is their goaltending. You have Smith, Koskinen, and Forsberg. Smith has to really pick it up to make this team a contender, but they have so much talent on that team that they will give the Leafs a run for the money to win this division, as will the Flames here. I know you guys absolutely love your Montreal Canadiens and the moves that they've done this year. And in a 56-game season, guys, I'm telling you, anything can happen in this division. I think other than, let's say, the Jets, who defensively are completely horrible, and the Sens, who are rebuilding, this is a division that is up for grabs.
It certainly is up for grabs. It's going to be a very competitive one. I cannot wait to watch all of these matchups and all of these teams go head-to-head. Buster, we won't get into every single team and dive too far into it, but from a betting standpoint, looking at this value, I'll give you my predictions. Excuse me.
Okay.
I got the Leafs, Habs, Oilers, Canucks making the playoffs, top 4 teams. What are your thoughts?
Okay, I have obviously Leafs, Habs, Oilers, and Calgary. As I said earlier, I like Calgary 7-1 to win this division. I think Markstrom is key. They even got that Tanev. He's going to help the defense. You have to remember, Calgary won that division a couple years ago, like in a tough Western division. Like now we're playing East teams, and I always have a little bit of favoritism, even though my team's not in the East. I'm going back to like the way it was. And the Western Conference teams will always seem to be stronger. And I really like Calgary here. They're gonna be right there. What can we say about our Canadians there, Andrew? Gotta love the acquisition of Allen. So again, teams like Montreal, where they can put in a top-notch goaltender for 56 games, and they're a team, they can steal games too. This division is going to go right down to it. Can't actually wait. And we always have a saying down here in Mexico, you don't want to rush your future away. You don't want to look too far ahead. But I can't wait for those 3 games at the end of the year between Montreal and Toronto, because that could be really good for even maybe for first place if Calgary doesn't get there, or for second. So really looking forward to watching the hockey this year. As Carmine and you have been saying, it's going to be really, really important for every point. So how these coaches coach these games and how the schedule sets up. I'm sure a lot of the guys who've been watching the show looked at those schedules. Those schedules are something else. There's teams that are playing the same team 4 times in a row, 3 or 4 days. There's a lot of back-to-back. So scheduling is going to be key. And I believe taking a lot of underdogs will be key if you want to make money this year as well. Go Habs.
There's going to be a lot of moments on this show during the year with Buster and I talking about the Habs, so I won't even get into it right now. I love the pickups. They had a great offseason. Buster, we'll throw it back to you for just a few Stanley Cup futures, and we'll get Carm's thoughts. Just some teams you think present some good value, and just outright wins that you think are going to have a great shot to win this Stanley Cup in this shortened 56-game season.
Okay, I'll go with the 3 teams I've talked about, or actually 2. I never bet my Montreal Canadiens in 40 years of betting. Never bet Montreal to win the Cup. It's just kind of one of those sacrilegious things. I'm not too sure whatever it is, but I might have a little bit of money on Montreal this year to win the Cup. I think they're 27-1 or something like that. I like Pittsburgh. I just going from these lines are from FanDuel. So Pittsburgh was 20-1, and I like Calgary too. So I might be – it's hard to take a couple teams in the same conference though too, so you want to split them out. Personally, I'll come down to 2 of those teams. But again, for some value, nothing wrong with our Canadians for some value, that's for sure.
Carm, we're going to wrap things up here in a few moments, but the Colorado Avalanche are leading the way as the Cup favorites, obviously for a reason, a very talented team. Besides them, as a team that's leading the way, Carmine, what are you thinking here for some long shot guys here?
Yeah, I'm not going the way of Buster here with the Montreal Canadiens. I'm not sure if he's going with his heart at that one or he got that tip from Evander Kane. Either way, it's probably not a good one. Other than Colorado Avalanche, who are one of my futures bets, I'm looking at a couple others. Obviously, the Edmonton Oilers at plus 1800, which is 18-1 on your money. If they can get that, and you can reevaluate that because the futures will always be up. You can reevaluate that a couple weeks into the season when you see how their goaltending affects this team. And then the Flyers 14-1. Really love that value bet there. Whenever I play these futures, guys, it's always with the intention of anything higher than 10-1, 12-1 that I can hedge out later. And if I expect the Flyers to make it to the semifinals, it puts a great hedge opportunity there for you to make money without them actually winning the Stanley Cup. So those are a couple that I'm looking at right now.
Eastern Conference for me, I'll say the Philadelphia Flyers, just like Carmine. Western Conference, I would go ahead with the Vegas Golden Knights. Guys, thank you so much for watching Puck Time here today, our preview show. We are back Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern. You know where to find us right here on WagerTalk TV. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitch, all of the above, any streaming network you can think of. And tomorrow, our debut show, we got a great set of games to go over. We're going to be giving you guys some picks, some sides, some totals, and of course, some props. So thank you so much. Don't forget to check out that coupon code NHL99. Get an NHL season package from Buster, Carm, myself, the Prez, Dave Koken, anybody that is doing NHL handicapping at WagerTalk or Sports Memo. You can use that coupon code NHL99 to get it for $99 off for a total of $399 for a full season, plus the playoffs. On behalf of Carmine, on behalf of Buster, our producers Will and Joe, I'm Andrew. Thank you very much for watching Puck Time, and I will see you right here tomorrow.